If you're here, it's probably because you're desperate to heal and to move on now that your partner's left. But no matter what you try, you can't seem to move through the hurt. The hurt is still there, it's really overwhelming, and you're not really sure if you can let go or even if you want to let go. When we have well meaning friends and family who might tell us, like, you need to move on, it's time to move on. But you feel like you can't stop obsessing about what's happened. You're still crying when nobody's looking, and it feels like you go one step forward and two back. Please understand that that is normal. It's grief. This process of letting go is hard. And it means that all of the things that are coming up for you are normal and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. I know that doesn't give you comfort, but that is where you are at. Everybody grieves differently. But if you're here, it's because you are ready to try and start to think about, okay, what am I going to do next? Like, there's this pain going on, but there's my whole life waiting. And so I've got to find a way to move through this process. I want to help you unpack a lot of what is happening and help you begin that process. Sometimes we feel like we can't let go because we feel like we need the other person, like we physically cannot survive without them, without the connection we had with them. And I want you to know that this is not unusual, number one, but it also isn't accurate. It is about a thing called attachment, the way we connect and bond to other people. And it's the way our brain is wired to make sure we're safe. So when we're connected to somebody, it feels like safety. And when we disconnect, it feels very unsafe. So the patterns that we go through are patterns of our nervous system trying to adjust to what's happening. When the relationship ends, we lose that sense of feeling seen, heard, and valued by another person. And that rejection of somebody we love cuts incredibly deeply. We're all wired for the pain of longing. We're all actually hardwired to long for what we love. And you may really want your partner to come back. But you also know that the safety of that relationship, what that relationship meant, also is a longing inside of you. You were a wife, you were a mother, you were a sister-in-law, a daughter-in-law, you were part of a system, part of a bunch of people. And that felt really safe, really, really safe. And now it can feel like you're adrift. It's important to know that the grieving you're going through, other people might not understand at all. People who haven't been through it, people who have opinions about the way it should go. But when we lose the future, when we look into the future and we go, I don't even know where to begin with that. Maybe we lose the home we grew up in or where we raised our kids. Maybe we have lost friends who were friendships of the relationship. Maybe, we're no longer invited to couple events because we're now single. Maybe it's simple things like we don't have somebody to text stuff to with the boring shit that goes on in everybody's life. But those things are all anchors for us. It's not just the relationship, it's also the role that we had within the relationship that is lost. And so we're not just letting go of the person we love, we're letting go of a whole heap of other things, the stories we believed about our future, the role that we thought we had, and we may feel like we've completely lost a whole part of ourselves. Some of the things that people don't talk about that are really important are things like the financial implications of what is going on. And, money is really important. It's very important. Maybe we had, maybe we worked, maybe we didn't work, maybe we worked some of our relationship, maybe we worked all of our relationship, but our finances were intertwined with this other person. Maybe we're scared now that we will never feel financially secure again. Maybe our partner dealt with all the finances and we don't have the first clue how to deal with any of the money. Maybe we've gone from two incomes to one income. There can be so much uncertainty around finances. And I think that sense of safety when it comes to finances can be very frightening. Maybe you built together a future where you believe that, okay, we'll be good in the future, or we'll be okay in the future. We've done all the things we needed to do to make sure that we'll be financially okay as we age. But now things look different, and that can be terrifying. And it's important for you to think about that and to start looking at, where can I get some solid financial advice from as I move forward? Where can I get good, helpful, structured advice that is actually true, not just what friends tell me, but that is based in the law or based in entitlements? How can I find that out? Because that's really important. It's interesting, not in a good way, but it's interesting now. We believed that midlife was meant to be a time when all of the hard years were behind us, when we thought we're with our forever person and we were facing the future, that we had shared this shared story about what comes next. And today, that is very different. There are more couples today separating in their 50s and 60s than ever in history. Um, it is a time when a lot of people are reassessing their lives. So in your 50s and 60s, you may never have thought you would be facing a future of new beginnings. But I want you to know it's not too late to start again. It's not too late to thrive and to be seen as you start the next steps of your life. It's not too late to believe that you will matter to someone else at some point. You know, it's easy to imagine a 30-year-old reinventing themselves if a relationship ends, but we can get scared that, hey, I'm not that young anymore. And we can get frightened about, this is about just trying to keep the lights on and the fridge full. And that can be scary. I want you to remember that your life is yours. It's your timeline. It belongs to you. And grief won't get any faster just because the world is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. You are going to have to heal through this. And healing in midlife isn't too late. And thousands and thousands and thousands of women around the world do it successfully. So it can be done. And yeah, you're going to have to be a bit brave. But you're not alone in this. I run every single Thursday, I do live chats on YouTube, and I have lots of women who come from all over the world who are in very similar situations to you. So please know that you're not alone. If you are really busy trying to keep the feelings at bay, push them down, I don't want to feel it, I don't want to feel it, maybe you feel like you have to do that. Maybe you've got kids to take care of, a job to do, or you just feel like if you let the feelings come up, they'll just suffocate you, and that will not be good. It's really important for you to know that overfunctioning like this is not good for you. You need some time to slow down. You need some time to let this hit and land. You need to feel all the feelings. You need to process all of the feelings. And I know that can feel scary and overwhelming, but you can't bypass this grief. You are going to have to feel it if you want to heal through it. It's good if you can make peace and make space for some of the hard stuff that is going on for you. Because pretending that you're fine and trying to push through is going to come back and bite you for sure. I want you to know that you have survived every single hard thing that has come into your life so far. You have. Think about all of the hard things that you have been able to get through, because you have. You really, really have. Women will say to me often, how long is it going to take before all this hurt stops? How long is it going to take for me to get back on my feet? How long will it be before I don't feel like my life is coming to an end? How long? And I wish I could tell you. I wish I could give you a number so that it wouldn't feel so hard, but I can't. Because healing after a long-term relationship end isn't a 3-month project. If you've been with someone for decades, you are going through a reckoning with your identity, with your history, with any unresolved trauma that might have been stirred up. It's not just about getting over him. It's about really rebuilding a new you. And that takes time, sometimes years. It doesn't mean you're stuck. It just means you're human. It just means that what you lost really mattered. And so does you moving through this and healing through this. So if you're here and you're wondering why, please know that lean into this. You're not failing if things aren't moving forward. You're facing things. And that's a lot. That's a big deal to be facing everything. It's a big deal to be leaning into it and feeling it all. In the next chapter, we're going to look at some other parts of this process. Today we looked at some of the blocks that come up, some of the answers that we're chasing, forgiveness and trying to avoid pain and wanting healing to be fast, wanting to get over it quickly. And you need to take your time. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about when the dust settles and things slow down a bit and you start to wonder, who am I now without this relationship? Who am I now? The role that you have and how that may well have changed. And also, who am I outside of this relationship? Discovering your new self can feel really scary, but I can promise you, because I've experienced it with lots of women, that discovering that new person can be so rewarding and so much fun. It probably doesn't feel that right now, but it will in time, I promise you. Please, if you look at the top of the screen, you will find the next chapters of this video series. Just click on those or just wait and the next one will come up in your feed. If you'd like to join me, like I said earlier, for my Thursday chats, you're welcome to come along to those and just listen or ask some questions. And if you are feeling like you need a bit more support, I have a very helpful, quite comprehensive survival guide that I would highly recommend. It has a lot of tips in it that you find that in my store. There's a free guide that comes with this video series. You'll find that down in the description box. And if you're needing a little one-on-one support, you're more than welcome to reach out and I can give you the link to my diary and we can organise to have a private chat. Please take care of yourself. No, this is part of the journey. It's painful, it's hard, but you have got this. You are going to get to the other side of this. I guarantee it to you. Until next time.